Today on Suncoast View, here we go again. The Florida vote recount is underway. We'll discuss the system and whether it does what it is supposed to do.
The folk legends have shared the spotlight with some of the biggest stars in the business. We'll get a preview of their show headed to the Venice Theater.
And Pink is a one-day conference that's been called a bubble bath for the brain. We'll chat with the founder about what we can all learn at this year's event. All that and more right now on Suncoast View. Welcome to the show. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yes, here we go again.
And also welcome back to Megan Greenberg from Ringling College.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Great to see you as always.
Usually I would not say, oh, you're pregnant. But I think in your case, it's safe.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Although
I don't know about this big black shirt on TV.
I was going to say you're hiding it under there.
Hidden, but it's there.
Almost here.
Yeah, I have 2 weeks left.
2 weeks.
That's very
Yeah,
exciting. We've
Boy,
never had a
girl.
Suncoast
Viewers
View,
at
baby. Maybe we should get up and do some moving around.
Yeah, that would be nice.
You guys do that. I'm gonna sit right here. And just,
I think should be fine.
Well, she does lots of moving around because this is baby number 2.
Yes.
So tell us about Arlo. How does he feel about having a baby?
He just turned 2 and he's not there. I know
Doesn't get
sometimes
it.
some people's 2-year-olds seem to be on board with it, but he is just doing his own 2-year-old thing
He's
now.
busy styling, apparently. Look at him.
He
Look
was
at those
Maverick
glasses.
for Halloween.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
yeah.
cool.
That's
His
amazing.
little stud right there, so cute, so sweet. 2-year-old is a really good age.
It
They're really fun.
is.
They're wild. They have a lot of energy.
I think that instead of the terrible twos, it should be the terrible teens.
I've
'cause
heard the
that's when
terrible
trouble.
3s, really.
Yeah,
is what
they
lot
get a
of
little
people
attitude
say.
at 3.
Because
I
they can
remember.
talk back, and we'll see. We take it, everything, roll with the punches, take it all as it comes.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
One day at a time, because one of these days very soon there'll be a new baby. So
Yes.
and life changes again.
Yep,
So.
no choices. We're going to put him on Craigslist if he acts out.
Oh, you look back and you think, how could I have ever gone through life without this?
I
This is what I was
know.
meant to do.
I know.
Yeah,
I
it's a
can't
nice
wait.
stage. It's a good stage. But we're
Yeah.
excited for you.
Thank
Keep
you.
us posted on
I-
baby news.
You have no choice.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that.
That's awesome. All right, let's see who's in the Rice's Appliance Kitchen today. We welcome back Paulette from the Spice and Tea Exchange. What are we making today?
We are going to do turkey leftovers.
Oh,
So different things
good.
to do with your Thanksgiving leftovers. We're going to do a ginger turmeric soup, an Asian turkey wraps, and turkey sandwiches with different mayonnaise flavor.
Oh, that's better than an old turkey sandwich.
That's
That's
right.
what my leftovers
Absolutely.
usually go for.
Okay, good. Well, that is, of course, very timely as we head into Thanksgiving next week. So thank you for that. We actually did our family Thanksgiving yesterday because we've got people traveling for Thanksgiving week. So I have an entire turkey sitting in my fridge that I now know what to do with for the rest of the
yes.
know
And
you're-
then next
everyone's too
week you're going to do it again?
No, we're actually not doing it again. And Megan's exactly right. When you have to reschedule a holiday that the whole world used to stop for, but that doesn't happen anymore with retail. And there's 2 people in my family these days working in retail, and therefore Thanksgiving got rescheduled.
Oh.
So
Well, my company left on Thursday night. More company coming at the end of this week for Thanksgiving, so we're getting in the mood already.
good. Yes, it does seem like we're in full holiday mode.
Oh,
and
yes.
In our 90-degree weather.
In our, right, and then there's that. It's always something. All right, well, the always something today is a certainly big news story. Today, for our first hot topic, the country is once again watching as Florida recounts its ballots. Experts say this midterm is revealing imperfections in the voting system that would normally go unnoticed. South Florida election officials could be exposed for sloppy practices that violate the law. Now, most of Florida's counties have already begun the recount. It is state mandated to be completed by Thursday. How do we take the human element out of this?
Doesn't people do it on their cell phone?
You
I
think?
feel like more people get it right if it just came up, like vote yes, no, A, B, C, D.
Then you still got to figure out what yes really means
Yeah.
and what no means. I wonder if it ever changes it completely. Could we get a different governor with a recount? Could it make that much difference?
It has not. I heard this morning there was a lot of talk about that a recount has never turned over a major decision at this point. So odds are apparently against it, but who knows, right?
I know the percentage was really close. It was like
Right.
0.02 or 0.2.
But I mean,
something
we're
very-
using machines, we're feeding machines. How much more human element can we take out of it so that the machines do what the machines are supposed to do?
It is getting better. I remember once at an election, the ladies who were doing it in Venice had to bring their boats back to Sarasota. So when the polls closed, they stopped to have dinner on the way. And of course, they had all those ballots with them to be counted. So it delayed it for hours. So we've taken that out anyway.
That
That
is-
doesn't
we've
happen
come far.
anymore.
I've heard too, I think that the hurricanes affected something that people were emailing in ballots. I just saw it on the news.
Just wiped
and
out the whole
wasn't
town.
quite paying attention.
So it had to wipe out everything.
there were
Yeah.
some different provisions for what happened in the Panhandle versus
Right,
the rest
and they're
of
not
us.
technically legal, so that can affect the numbers. So I don't quite know all the logistics, but I think some of it might not even be the human element as opposed to
Right.
what's happening.
Yes.
It's just
technologically.
Things we
hard.
can't control.
Well, because we talk about the frustrating parts of politics and the backstabbing and the arguing and all that, and that turns a lot of people off. And then to have the system not run smoothly, so then you wonder if it is working at all. I mean, it's just.
But what gets you excited is it's so close. I mean, you would say there are millions of people voting, my vote won't count, and then it comes down to 0.07%.
Yeah.
That's the difference. So you think, well, I guess my vote really does count.
Yep, that's a good lesson to take away from this, regardless of how it ends up. That certainly in this case, and it's a good thing that our vote counts and needs to be heard. So let's hopefully they can just get them counted correctly. So being able to sleep on an airplane is a gift many of us wish we had.
have, don't
I
you?
do. I'm very good. I'm out cold on an airplane. But this story has scared me a little bit. A WestJet passenger paid the price for being too good at it. WestJet reportedly kicked a passenger off of a flight from Toronto to Cuba after the man took a sleeping pill and was out cold in his wife's lap before the plane even left. Crew members say that their job is to determine if passengers are fit to fly in order to avoid any issues that could come up in the air. Apparently, this passenger had recently had a stroke, and when he did not respond to the crew after he took the sleeping pill, the family was asked to deplane. The airline says passengers must be responsive in case of emergency. Have you ever heard of that?
Well, I
and what
think
do you
it
think?
makes perfect sense. If he's got to go down the slide to evacuate, he's not able to do that. And he can be a problem for other people getting out. So I
So
think
you think it's okay that he was asked to leave? Because
well, I wonder how they got him off. I think if he's not responsive and he can't listen to the crew and do what they say, then no, he's not in any condition to fly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of agree, because if there was a medical emergency, I'd much rather him be on the ground and be able to drive to a hospital than have to deplane the entire plane. I've also heard recently that people who are able to fall asleep before the plane takes off, that it can, again, please forgive me, I'm going to mess it up, but it can affect your blood pressure or something, that when the plane starts to elevate, because you're not consciously breathing, you're not consciously awake, that it can affect you somehow. So I don't know if they took that into consideration or just don't want to deal with the medical emergency in the air.
So wait until the plane
I
takes
think
off
that
to go
seems
to
to
sleep.
be the
Yes.
role, is just wait.
When the beverage cart comes, then you can pass out. I think this is
Well,
the
especially
rule.
on the long flights that you take. I mean, honestly, I'd probably need a little sleeper helper just so that I could have a decent sleep.
I have to. The only way I can sleep is on my stomach, and that's hard to do on a plane.
That is hard to do on a plane.
Yeah, so I
yes.
just watch the movies and keep going.
All right, well, an age-old playground battle has grown up. The girls are suing the boys. The Girl Scouts of America are suing the Boy Scouts after the Boy Scouts announced they will change their name to Scouts BSA and will allow girls to attain an Eagle Scout ranking. In the lawsuit, the Girl Scouts claim that Boy Scouts cannot monopolize the word Scout, and doing so marginalizes what Girl Scouts do.
Well,
What do you
can't they
think
be the
about
Girl
that?
Scouts?
They can be the Girl Scouts, but apparently girls don't want to be Girl Scouts because the Boy Scout eliteness of Eagle Scout is kind of a big deal.
My granddaughter's a Girl Scout, and she is so proud of all of her accomplishments. It has made a huge difference to her. So I think Girl Scouts still do a lot of very, very valuable things.
Absolutely.
I'm confused. So that's
So Boy Scouts now allow girls.
Right.
And the Girl Scouts are mad because Scout
Right.
is not a gender, it is a gender
because
neutral
Girl
term.
Scouts and
but
Boy Scouts have existed
forever.
So
But now we're trying to
There should be an all boy, all girl, and a mixed one, and you get to pick.
Yeah, you get to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
His, hers, and other.
Yeah, I pick. If
Yeah,
you want to be an
because-
Eagle Scout, an Eagle Scout. If you're in the Girl Scouts, you're in the Girl Scouts, and then there's a mixed one
Right,
in the middle.
because a lot of kids want to go, brother and sister want to go together.
Yeah.
Mom wants to drop both people off at the same
It's
time.
an interesting thought.
So,
I mean, Megan, your kids are going to be the ones dealing with this. See, we're past this.
yeah, I've got grandkids that
Yeah,
are dealing
I
with
like
it.
sometimes things that are all boys or all girls because
Yeah.
I like doing all girl
I
things
still do,
sometimes,
yes.
and I like boys do all boy things, but I like the option that if you want to intermingle, that's also an option, again, for reasons like that, or just because you like
Right.
mingling.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So-
it seems like the boys are the ones missing out. I know at face value, it seems like the boys are saying, you know, no, we're going to do what we want. But there isn't anything all boy if the Boy Scouts allow girls.
Right.
Right.
You know, so they're missing that part of
Right.
it out. So a great argument to have the his, her, and the mix.
Yeah, I think it's okay to be a boy or a girl. It's wrong to choose to do different activities. I had girls and boys, and they like to do different things.
And I do think it's healthy to separate at some point.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
All right, well, Megan, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see what happens.
You're gonna have
in
2
10
boys?
Years. Yes, 2 boys.
Oh, at least you can drive them both to the same place for scouts.
Who knows? Maybe one likes this and one likes that, so we'll find out. I
We'll
think.
find out. So a new study of
Crazy
superhero movies says that good guys are more violent than bad guys. The study looked at the top grossing superhero films from 2015 and 16, like Captain America and Batman vs. Superman. On average, the superhero committed 23 acts of violence per hour, while the villain committed 18 violent acts per hour. Male characters had 7 times the violent actions of female characters. Now, these stats concern experts who say that kids see superheroes as good guys and can be influenced by risky and violent actions. I know this is something that is going to affect Megan's world.
Huge to me right now because we talk about this. And without trying to be political or divisive in any way, we talk about gun laws and we talk about things like that, but we don't talk about the entertainment that our kids are watching. Even forget video games, that everything, music videos, TV shows,
Cartoons.
everything is
Yes.
about somebody with a gun, shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up. And so how do we have this conversation with our kids that guns are bad, guns are wrong, when everything we saturate their lives with somehow has some kind of violent aspect to it? And when you watch these movies, everything has a
Yes.
gun in it when it's not necessary.
Or you're hitting somebody.
Right, I was going to say,
Yeah.
even outside of guns, from Linda, in my perspective, what the cartoons that used to be Saturday mornings,
Right.
and even the old ones, the
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny and the Road Runners, they were punching,
Right.
always blowing people up, always punching,
Right.
always, you know, there's a lot of
But
violence.
now it's blockbuster. Now it's
Yeah.
not just,
Yes.
a cartoon
And the guy that
drawing.
hits the most wins. We should create this, a superhero that does a kind act and changes
I
the
would love
world.
that.
And that will be the person everybody looks up
Right,
to.
or like just kind of has superheroes that like pet animals and read books. Like, how do we change the narrative that it's not just fighting and violence?
It doesn't
that
have to
it's
be a
something-
physical
Yes,
superpower.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
No,
can be a
that's
mental
interesting.
They're
superpower.
like the compost king,
Yeah.
or like something like
I don't think
Queen
this is
America.
catching on, Megan.
May not be sexy enough for the big screen, but you know. All right, well, there are a lot of ways to relax and unwind, and a new study says lining up little blocks may be a good one. Do you remember Tetris? Research shows the computer game helps with anxiety issues. So remember, the game is where you line up the blocks into those perfect rows of 10, and psychologists say that actually gets us into a mental state they call flow. Flow is when you are completely engrossed in an activity. Doesn't matter what the activity is, just so that you lose self-awareness and time flies by. So maybe we shouldn't criticize all those Candy Crush players and things like that. What do you do that puts you in a state of flow where time just flies by?
You know, if I'm writing stories for our show, I look up, I think it's 1 o'clock, I look up, it's 3 o'clock, and I had an appointment at 2:30.
I don't know if work counts, though.
Well, it's writing. Writing. to me
Writing is your
counts.
flow.
Yeah, writing is where I
that.
lose myself completely. Not so much putting little blocks in a line. That would not do it for me. I would be throwing them all up into the
Well,
air.
that's why coloring got so big for adults a couple of years ago too.
Yep.
But I think cooking, most people would say cooking, reading, which isn't a flow, but it takes you out of
Yeah,
something.
uh-huh.
But that's why children's arts and crafts too. Now, like when I finger paint with my kid, I think, oh, we'll do this for a half hour, and suddenly it's an hour and a half
Yeah.
later. So I think some things that are mindless are. It's positive to be out
Absolutely.
of your
And
mind.
we
And you're
need
saying
to
to
be
your
mindless.
kid, no, come on, let's color some
Yes.
more. Let's color some
Yeah.
more.
We need to be mindless. Just take a step back
Right.
a little bit.
Yes.
All right, we're going to check in with our mid-morning forecast when we come back. Personal injury protection with Carl Reynolds Law.
Quiet conditions on radar currently, but that will change with time. Across the state of Florida, warm, moist air lifts northward, feeding a low-pressure area that's producing some strong storms and drawing down cold air back to the west. The area in red is a tornado watch box for north central Florida. Will in no way impact us, but it is an indication of how unstable that air is. And it lifts off to the north and to the east, bringing perhaps some rough weather to parts of the Atlanta area a little bit later on today. So airport delays are possible. Back to the west in Texas, the area highlighted in blue. Those are freeze watches and warnings, and there is definitely some cooler air on the horizon for us. A little mix of sun and clouds throughout the day today, but plenty of sunshine as this front lifts north as a warm front. We stay in the warm, muggy air till Friday, when another frontal boundary will approach, pass through, and bring us some cooler air just in time for the weekend and Friday as well. Daytime high today tops out around 86 to 87 degrees.
Understanding Florida auto insurance is no easy task. Florida has several insurance provisions that many other states do not have, and that includes personal injury protection. In today's Injuries Are Personal, attorney Carl Reynolds is here to explain what PIP or PIP is all about. All right, this is not hard to understand why we get confused. Florida's only one of 10 states that actually has PIP. So
Correct.
What is it?
Well, PIP is the no-fault provision of Florida law. Many people have heard that. We're a no-fault state. And a lot of times people don't understand, what does that mean?
Right.
Doesn't matter who's at fault. The other side pays for it. That's not what happens. What happens is the Florida legislature put together a plan so that when you're in an accident, you don't have to confirm whether or not the other person has insurance or adequate insurance. You have a pot of money, $10,000, to pay for your medical expenses. So you can go and get medical care immediately and know that through your own policy, you have up to $10,000 to pay for those medical bills.
Okay, but there are some procedures that you have to follow so that you actually get this full benefit of PIP, and I've had doctors point that out.
Correct.
So what is the one first thing, if you're in an accident and you are injured, that must happen for you to truly get this coverage?
Well, first thing is you got to have insurance, okay?
Right.
You got to comply with the law. And assuming you have insurance and a valid policy, you have to get medical care within 14 days.
Okay.
You've seen that, you've probably heard that before, but you've got to get medical care within 14 days.
Okay, and let's take a closer look at that full screen too, because the line where we have personal injury protection is something that needs to be taken a look at as well. So within personal injury protection, there is a deductible.
You can elect a deductible. On this sample policy that your viewers are seeing, there's a $1,000 deductible. That is the maximum deductible allowable now. In times past, you could elect up to a $2,500 deductible, but that's what that means. And you see it says and REL. It's also and relatives. So it's a deductible for the insured name and all relatives in the household.
Okay, so what do I do? I'm in an accident, I'm injured. We won't worry about who hit who or whose fault it is. What is the procedure that I go through? Within that 14 days, I see a doctor.
Need to see a doctor.
And then everything gets handled according to what?
Well, you got to see a doctor first.
Yep.
Okay, and get checked out. A lot of times what we're dealing with these kinds of cases, auto accident cases, are spine injuries, right? And a lot of them are whiplash related injuries. So you need to seek follow-up medical care for those injuries. They could be with a physical therapist, with a medical doctor, with a pain management specialist, or a chiropractor.
Okay.
And you want to make sure that you go see a provider that accepts auto insurance. Most providers do. Some don't know how to bill it, so just make sure they're familiar with how automobile insurance
And tell
works.
them this is a car-related accident
Correct.
injury. Okay.
Correct. And you'll have up to $2,500 of the $10,000 available for that kind of care. You have to prove what's called an emergency medical condition in order to get access to the full $10,000. It sounds more serious than it is. The definition for emergency medical condition basically just says you need care or else you're going to suffer greater injury or pain.
So it's not
later
that
on.
hard to
Correct.
get to. So right off the bat, $2,500, no questions asked.
Correct.
If I go to the emergency room, if I'm getting a scan, something like that, I'll be covered.
Correct.
For that. Well, that's good to know, because a lot of times I think one of the reasons we don't go to the doctor is because we're afraid of the bills that may mount up. So
And
this kind of protects us against that a little bit.
It does. It protects against it. Now, there is a copay provision of PIP, no
Okay.
fault coverage, okay? It's basically 20% of the bill.
Okay.
So that $10,000 pays 80% of the medical bill. The remaining 20% would be the at-fault party's responsibility. Now, if you cause an accident, your PIP still applies. So if you cause an accident, you're hurt, your PIP's still going to pay 80% of your bill. So it doesn't have to be something where you weren't at fault, or it could be a case that you caused. It could be a single car accident where you run
Sure.
into a tree.
But so you have to figure that you'll have to pay 20% of the
pay
bill,
20%.
and other than that, the PIP will then cover it. I think this is important for us to understand because it helps us want to go make sure we're okay.
Correct.
Knowing we're not going to go broke doing it.
That's the point of the provision, is to make sure that people can get medical care when they need it without having to confirm whether or not the other side has insurance or adequate insurance.
Okay, well that's important then. So we should not hesitate to check out injuries that occur.
Absolutely.
All right.
I want to
sounds good.
salute all the veterans out there. I'm wearing my patriotic
I
colors. I
see
got
that.
many veterans in my family, and I just want to salute them. God bless them.
Absolutely. We're celebrating Veterans Day as well. So for more information about any of your legal questions, go to injuriesarepersonal.com. We'll be right back.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do.
Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000.
Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
The folk legends have performed on stages from Disneyland to the Grand Ole Opry. The group has been together since 1971, but the three gentlemen we're about to hear started together last night. But individually, they have performed with some of the most famous groups in the world. And here they are, the folk legends. Take it away.
As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps from the sparkling sands of the diamond deserts, while all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. When the sun was shining and I went strolling, and the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling, as the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting. Well, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can make me turn back. God bless America for me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me.
Woo! Fabulous! You guys are awesome. Wow, I love to squeeze in here and be surrounded by men. So introduce yourselves and tell a little about your background. Come on up to the microphone and tell us.
My name is George Grove. For 41 years, I was a member of the Kingston Trio. And about a year ago, we formed the Folk Legends.
Yes. Oh, very good. Tell us about yourself.
My name is Jerry Siggins. I sang for 27 years with the 50s rock and roll band, the Diamonds, and at Walt Disney World, the opening quartet, the Dapper Dans of Walt Disney World.
Oh, that's awesome. And introduce yourself and tell about your background.
I'm Rick Doherty, and I played for 14 years with the Limelighters and sang with Glenn Yarborough for 2, and for the last 12, I played with the Kingston Trio, and now we're in the Folk Legends.
Oh, wow. This is great. Well, we want to tell everybody, I want to hear a little bit more from you guys. You are so good, but we want to tell everybody that you can see the Folk Legends at the Venice Theater. They're there November 11th, last night, and today, the 12th, they've got a show at 3 and 8 p.m. For more information, go to thevenicestage.com. Let me get out of your way and give us one more song.
Okay, ready? 1, 3, 4.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man, I love technology. Hey, yo, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids. Build great futures.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC 7.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. The PINK experience, which stands for People, Ideas, Nature, and Creativity, has been called a bubble bath for your brain. It is a one-day conference-like experience at the Sarasota Opera House, and there's a cascade of international speakers designed to enlighten us. So we welcome Anand Palagar, the founder of PINK. Great to have you with us.
It's a pleasure to be here. And just to clarify, I'm actually the founder of Dream Large. The founder of PINK was actually a couple in the Netherlands who were based in the Netherlands. That's where it actually began.
So tell us about this concept of PINK, what it is, and how you were able to bring it here to the Suncoast based on what you learned from the founders.
Sure. So PINK is essentially a one-day experience. So we look at it from both a mental learning opportunity to what you taste, to what you might hear. And essentially we basically create what is an experiential day that our intent is that you will leave the day transformed from when you came in. So our promise to our visitors or our guests is that you leave PINK looking at the world slightly differently than you did when you walked in.
And what drew you to this? What made you say, wow, Sarasota and the Suncoast would love this?
So I'm a big believer that you find your best ideas on the outside. And too often we get trapped in our bubble and we only look around at things that are in our backyard. So some of my best ideas have come from traveling, visiting other cultures, visiting other cities. And so when I saw PINK for the first time, it really resonated with me because it really showcased the power of imaginative thinking and the ability to bring people around a common set of themes together and create what is really truly a marvelous, incredible, fun-filled day that leaves you looking at the world differently. And that was really, really powerful. And when you look at a community like Sarasota, we have such an educated population here that have also, to a large extent, had their experiences somewhere else in the world. Most people have transplants here.
Right. It's a great mix, just the concept that we can bring all these, different thoughts and ideas in one place and all leave. It's like taking a tour around the world without leaving.
Absolutely.
Which I love the concept of, because a lot of us don't get to go as many places as we like. So let's talk specifically about this year. And I know we have some looks at the speakers who are coming. Let's talk about who's here to enlighten us this year.
Sure. So we have 12 speakers that we release, but then we weave into them a number of surprises, which I'm not going to share. You have to be there to hear about them. But some of the speakers this year include Sanford Greenberg. Sanford Greenberg is a gentleman who I can't wait to meet. He went blind in his junior year at Columbia University, and most people that would change their trajectory in life entirely. Instead, he championed along. He was elected class president. He then went on to Harvard. He studied at Oxford, and he went back to Harvard to earn a law degree. It was there that he decided to leave and joined the White House administration under President Johnson at the time. Since then, he's basically written the book on how to advise presidents.
Wow.
Intriguing guy, but here's another piece to him. In 2012, he decided to launch a campaign to end blindness. And rather than put up cash as a prize, he put up gold bars. And so his goal is to end blindness by 2020 and hopefully change the lives of those that aren't fortunate enough to see. So incredible human being.
Yes.
Another speaker we have is Nashra Balagamawala. She is a Pakistani-born experiential designer. What she did is she went to RISD to study design. So no different than Ringling, we have a counterpart in the Rhode Island area. She basically took some of those skills that she learned as a designer and took them back to her issues in her home country. So in India and in Pakistan, there's a lot of arranged marriages, and oftentimes these are looked at as a business deal as opposed to true feelings or love or emotional connections. And so she created a board game to try and inspire her culture as to what some of the issues are when you force young females into these arranged circumstances. So a fascinating way to bring design into a cultural challenge, and obviously a very sensitive topic amongst the population.
Right.
But you can see. She can show you so you can see what she's talking about.
Absolutely, and she gamified it. So to bring a different context or a different conversation to what is a really difficult issue of marrying somebody marrying their daughter off into a marriage that is really about a business deal as opposed to what that girl really wants. And I think it's a very important issue.
I love the wide range of topics and speakers. There's truly something that everybody can draw from.
Exactly. We like to call it a horizontal conference as opposed to a vertical conference. Most of the time in America, we're so used to going to a conference about the media or about accounting or about the law. This is really a conference that covers everything in such a broad vernacular that it basically creates the opportunity for you to learn from these really disparate industries, ideas, and creative passions.
There's no keynote, which is a big thing too.
Right.
There's not one big draw. Every single person is a big draw. Some of them are Nobel Prize nominees. Some of them are just really quirky, passionate stories. So there's no hierarchy, which I find really interesting.
When you put the menu, if you will, or the program together, what do you hope that people here walk away with?
So what we do is we spend a year. This is ultimately a year's worth of work that comes down into a single day. It's an amazing amount of effort and initiative that's shared by a big team of people to help produce this experience for our attendees. Our hope is that you will come in looking, as I mentioned, looking at the world one way, leaving it differently, but it's really down the road. It's 6 months from now, it's 9 months, it's a year from now. You will see something, you will have a conversation with somebody at a cocktail party, and you'll remember you heard a story about this by somebody who is insanely passionate about this topic, and you've got a perspective that you can use to influence, to inform, to educate, and hopefully change someone else's perspective. So, in that mind, one of our speakers, we like to think of our audience as a group of bees that go out and pollinate the rest of the world with how amazing pink is. But one of our speakers is actually very focused on that topic. Her name is Anna Godeka. She's a Polish designer, and she basically invented this paper that helps nourish bees. With all of the industrialization we've had, bees have to travel further and further and further. And so we're hearing about colony collapse disorder and some of those issues. I think a quote that's often attributed to Albert Einstein is, if we were to lose all the bees in the world, we would have about 4 years left on
well,
this
from
planet.
bees to, you know, marriage to, you're right, there's this huge menu
Yes.
and something for everyone. This is an experience. I love that that is how we refer to it. pinkexperience.com is how you learn more. It is December 6th. Mark the calendars and plan on a day to expand your mind. Great to hear about it. Coming up next, we're going to meet the new maestro with the Venice Symphony.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership, both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app. This is an ABC 7 News Update.
Good morning, I'm Ray Collins. Today at noon, we're hoping to learn more about the incident that ended in the arrest of a Sarasota police officer. It happened at the airport in St. Petersburg, and now he's on paid leave. And you still have a few more hours to see the sand sculptures on Siesta Key. The annual event ends at 3 p.m. We'll show you the judge's top pick at noon, but first, let's get to the forecast from John Scalzi.
Well, we have a warm front lifting northward. As it does that, we're stuck in this warm, humid air mass underneath that low. Eventually, another cold front will arrive on our doorstep. That promises to change our weather pretty dramatically. But for today, we have a sun-cloud mix. We have warm weather right straight through Friday. And then on Friday, some cooler and drier air moves in, and it's significantly so. We'll be talking about that in detail on the noon show. For today, daytime highs top out around 86.
Happy Honda Days are here, and you're gonna like the holiday clearance savings. Save on the Accord, on sale for just $249 a month. That's the North American car of the year for less than the competition. Our most impressive Honda ever, on clearance for only $249 a month, loaded with more options, including a turbocharged engine and Honda Sensing. Do not miss these Honda clearance savings this week at your local Honda dealer.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC 7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC 7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
The Venice Symphony's new maestro makes his debut this weekend as he conducts the Venice Symphony's opening concert of the season. The Venice Symphony conducted a long and extensive search for a new conductor, and they're being applauded by the music world for their selection. We welcome Troy Quinn, the music director and conductor of the Venice Symphony. We are so happy to have you here.
So happy to be here in this wonderful sunny state.
We are so glad you chose this state. So you've conducted a lot of very famous orchestras. Tell us about that.
I've done a few things, Linda.
You
Yes.
have.
Well, I've been very fortunate to start off my career actually in Rochester, New York. A very cold place, but that's where I first got my start in a Young Conductor preview. I was noticed, and then from there I went on to be the music director of the Juneau Symphony, conduct out west in Los Angeles. I also conduct the Owensboro Symphony in Kentucky, and now I've made it to beautiful sunny Florida and excited to start my tenure with the Venice Symphony.
We're so happy to have you here. And you're also a professional singer. Tell me
am.
about that. That's amazing.
So I started my career really in singing, and I've always wanted to get out west to Los Angeles. It was my dream. At 13 years old, I had the chance to see John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl conduct, And I said, that's what I want to do. I have to get there. So it was about 25 years later, but I did, and I went to USC, and then had a very, very wonderful career singing in the studios for movies and television. And then I transitioned into conducting. I got bit by that bug, and I haven't turned back since. But voice is my primary instrument, so it's never too far from me.
Well, you have had a lot of experience in television and in movies with your voice.
Yes, I've been lucky to do that. I was on Glee for a few seasons, which was very popular. I knew nothing about it at the time, didn't know it was going to be such a success, but I was happy to lend my voice to that and some other projects, the fourth Indiana Jones film, although it wasn't good as the original, I thought. But still, yeah, I've been very, very fortunate working a lot in Los Angeles. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno before Jimmy Fallon took over. And, you know, I had a brief stint with the Rolling Stones. So I just don't do classical music.
Wow, that is amazing. Well, what attracted you to the Venice Symphony?
Honestly, Linda, it's really, you know, the thriving arts culture here, and also the opportunity to do something great. You know, the atmosphere is primed for wonderful music making. We've got wonderful musicians from all over the world, really, who have come and settled in Venice. And so it's such an opportunity to create something wonderful and special. And of course, you've got that wonderful thing called the beautiful beach. I was just at Siesta Key with my fiance yesterday, and you don't need much convincing after you see that place to really make this a wonderful home. So
And now
I did, yes.
You've got a big white sheet in front of you. You can do anything you want with this. What can we expect from you? What's this season going to hold?
Surprises. Nothing is going to be predictable. You know, my philosophy is music is for all. So of course we're going to be playing Beethoven and Brahms and all the great classics, but we're going to be doing things outside the box. Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, fun.
Some other popular film music. I'm a big film music fan of John Williams particularly. And so we're going to be doing fun arrangements in a wonderful style, and I think it's really going to be a visceral experience. You know, I always say, if you don't like the symphony, come find me, we'll give me your money back. I haven't had a complaining patron yet. We really make it enjoyable, and you know, I'm passionate about what I do, so I'm really excited to bring that to everybody.
So this weekend, your very first
Yes,
concert.
we do.
So what are you doing? What will it be like?
We're doing some epic classical pieces. We're doing an Italian festival of music, so by an Italian composer, Torino Respighi, and he's done some wonderful pieces. These are epic brass pieces, very ceremonial. A big fanfare for us as well to start the season, so we're excited.
Wonderful.
So are we. And you can see Troy Quinn make his debut at the Venice Symphony. The concert is Friday, November 16th, and Saturday, November 17th at the Venice Performing Arts Center. For more information, go to thevenicesymphony.org. We'll be right back.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure, I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Find out first at 4 on the Suncoast with ABC 7 News at 4. ABC 7 News at 4 starts with a detailed look at your first alert weather forecast to help you plan and prepare. We give you a fresh, fast-paced rundown of the day's top stories and videos, including breaking news, live updates, and traffic hotspots, all at a new, more convenient time. Find out first at 4, weekdays on ABC 7.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
ABC 7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
Welcome back. Well, here at ABC 7, we have an exciting new project we want to share with you. We are highlighting people who live in the Sarasota and Manatee areas who are unique. So we want to know, such a diverse area. We have so many different types of people, as we were talking about with the Pink Experience. So if you can think of somebody who's just got a little bit of an unusual background, deserves to be highlighted for the things they are doing, we're looking for unique Suncoast stars. You can go to mysuncoast.com, and there's a form that you can kind of give us some information here, so we have some ideas about people that we might all be able to meet. So I think this is a great idea.
Yes, I can't wait to see who
Yep.
those people are.
And I bet, Linda, you have a list, so be sure and share it with us.
I will.
All right, we have a unique friend in the kitchen today with Spice and Tea Exchange. We're going to spice up your turkey leftovers.
This is an ABC 7 News Update.
Good morning, I'm Jess Dowdrick. Coming up today at noon, every county in the state is recounting its ballots from last week's midterm elections. The races for governor, U.S. Senate, and Commissioner of Agriculture, all too close to call. We'll tell you when the winners could be determined. And a possible expansion for Venice High School. 2 meetings happening later today will address the gross issue. We'll tell you when those will happen. Now let's check in with First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, we've got a mix of sun and clouds today. We're kind of in warm, muggy air riding up from the south, and that will provide us with a somewhat unstable atmosphere and sky over the next several days. So we'll have these clouds that build in the afternoon and occasionally an isolated shower or two. It's because a low pressure area is lifting off to the north and to the east, and we stay in the warm, muggy air. Now, eventually, a cold front will arrive, changing our weather dramatically. We'll have details on that coming up at noon.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
My grandpa was always telling me about it.
But the civil rights thing happened like a million years ago.
Still, he thought it was important that I know what it was like.
So we followed the civil rights trail to Alabama. We saw Dr. King's church,
The bridge in Selma, the church in Birmingham, and I finally knew what he was talking about.
Some things you just have to experience for yourself.
Start your civil rights journey at alabama.travel.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Welcome back. We're in Rice's Appliance Kitchen with Paulette from Spice and Tea Exchange. Oh my goodness, look at all this. What are we making?
We have a lot going on today. We're going to start. This is all about what to do with your turkey leftovers. Okay,
Yes.
so you have your typical turkey tetrazzini and all the typical things you do, but we wanted to switch it up. I
Good
love it.
idea.
Okay, because we're all going to have leftovers. Yes. So we're going to do mayonnaise. We're going to infuse mayonnaise 3 different ways. Okay. So that is a sriracha powder. Ooh. Okay, so you just how much? About half of it. Okay. Oh, a lot. Yeah. Okay. And you know, again, if you want it lighter, a little bit more mild, or if you want it bolder, you can add more. And it just infuses the mayonnaise. So we're going to do a sriracha. That sounds good. We're also going to do a smokehouse. So it gives you a little bit of that smoky barbecue flavor. Okay. And our herb sesame that you have there.
I love this. So these are ways that we can just simply add spices to our mayonnaise, and then when we make sandwiches or wraps,
that's it.
Have
Yeah.
a little bit more going on.
Yeah, and now this herb sesame, we actually toast the sesame seeds before we make this blend. So we put a lot of love into these products.
And the blends are amazing. And what a good idea. Honestly, I could mix them with
Easy.
dressing for salad dressing.
Yes.
I could spice up lots of things.
And you could, you know, please different family members depending on if your mother likes more of an herbal or someone wants something spicy.
I love
So you
that.
can do all different things, okay? And then we're
so
going to do
we'll
a
make
smokehouse
sandwiches out of
there.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
And then just make the different sandwiches. Now here we're going to do a turkey wrap. So like an Asian, you hear of the Asian chicken wraps.
Right.
We're going to do the turkey wraps
This
here.
is a great idea.
So yeah, so we're gonna just put in the chestnuts.
Okay.
And some of the turkey.
Okay.
So we're gonna just infuse it. We've put in some rice vinegar and we put in some sesame oil and yeah, so we're just gonna infuse all these flavors, add a little bit of the ginger teriyaki spice that we have.
And you're putting a little pepper in there.
A little bit of crushed red peppers.
Little heat?
Yes.
Okay, so how much
So
ginger?
just about half of that, and the
Okay.
ginger sugar as well. So it's going to have a sweet and a spicy. Yes, we're going to combine those flavors and create a really
I'm
nice
gonna pass
fusion.
that down for you to smell.
Yes.
Like that? Is that good?
Yeah, it's
try
really
that.
nice.
Smell that. That's amazing.
For stir fry. So it's an organic sugar based, and then we mix it with whatever product. So we
And you
have
want me
like
to chop
12
some green
different-
onion?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, I'll get that going.
Okay, and then over here, Linda, we're going to do a ginger turmeric soup.
Okay.
Okay, so we have, and there's different ways you can infuse it, but this is our ginger turmeric tea. Yes. So you can add
Pour it
this
all
in
in?
here. Yeah, we'll take that off. You're going to add it with the vegetable broth.
Okay.
Okay, and then Megan, we have our celery, carrots, mushrooms.
Keep going.
Sure.
All the way.
Yeah, and see all the turmeric. So it's full of health benefits as
Okay.
well. Look, she is a pro.
Job. Yes, look
Yeah.
at that.
That was
Perfect.
That was impressive. Nice skills, Megan.
Yeah. So we're going to add that. Again, you have the ginger turmeric tea here, which is wonderful iced or hot or with the soup. And then, Linda, we can also add some of the, we're going to do a little bit of the ginger sugar again that we put with the stir fry. We're going to put a little bit in here.
How much is a little bit?
Just about half, I would say. Perfect.
What a great way to get turmeric into something, too. I'll admit, I'm not a huge fan of the flavor.
Really?
So once it's in a soup, though, and it's mellowed, then it's, you know, like I can't do a shot of it. It makes me just kind of, ugh.
You're so
Yeah.
But it's so good for you.
It really is.
And it's
I
such a good way
mean,
to use it.
Yes. So, yeah. So it's fun. So these are just some different ways on what you can do with your Thanksgiving leftovers.
Well, I like the fact that, listen, we're all going to have turkey, and the turkey sandwiches get old after about day one.
Right.
So just something simple like making new mayonnaises, taking a recipe like your, you know, Asian lettuce wraps and using turkey. I would have never thought of that, but why not?
Why not?
You know, and then making a soup
that also gives us some other kinds
Right.
of benefits. So
Yeah.
absolutely love that. All right, and Paulette has a chef series coming up at Spice and Tea Exchange. So tell us who's coming on November 15th.
Yes, it's going to be at Classico downtown on Main Street, November 15th at 6 o'clock. The chef there is absolutely amazing.
Wonderful.
4 courses along with wine pairings. Yes, so
Sounds good.
call the Spice Store and reserve your seat.
Okay, we'll do that. And don't forget, Spice and Tea Exchange is perfect for little holiday goodies, bringing hostess gifts for Thanksgiving, and certainly as we head into the holiday season.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, Megan, good luck. Next time we see you, you'll be a mommy of 2. All right, hang in there, girl. Everybody, enjoy your Monday. We're off to a great start this week. Take some time. Enjoy the Suncoast view.